right, now look, today I'm finna show you guys how I make this jerk chicken noodle soup. Really quick, let's get to it. Coarse kosher salt, black peppercorn, thyme, some chicken bouillon. You're going to need carrots, celery, egg noodles. You guys know I love the Walker's Wood jerk chicken marinade. That's what I use. I'll show you exactly how I used it in a few moments. You're going to need some chicken broth. The neutral oil that I'll be working with today is avocado oil, and the chicken that I'm going to be using is boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I have about 4 or 5 there. I have a large onion and about 6 cloves of garlic. You see that? You see that? You see that? Don't ask me for the damn ingredient list. Let's go ahead and get right on into it, child. We're going to make it do what it do.
Whipping up all of your favorite recipes.
Simply Food.
You should know by now that you're in for a treat.
Simply Food.
There's no other channel where you'd rather be.
Simply Food.
Seafood, pasta, cakes, and pies. Sing and laugh and even cry. Like and share and hit subscribe. Simply Food by TY.
So I actually decided to make up this recipe in the middle of the night, so I allowed this chicken to marinate. I have about 5 boneless, skinless chicken thighs in there, and I'm going to be adding in 2 hefty teaspoons of the Walker's Wood Jamaican jerk hot and spicy seasoning. A majority of both flavor and heat is going to come from this step right here, so be mindful of how much you add. I added in about 2 teaspoons worth. Okay, so for the vegetables, there's no, right or wrong way for chopping these down. You can chop them as big or as small as you would like. I just want everything to kind of be, bite-sized. So I'm just going to give all of these a rough chop, and I'm going to do the exact same thing to the celery. And the same thing goes for the onions. You don't want those to be huge chunks, so cut those down to a mince. And just to let you guys know, I'm only going to be using roughly about a cup to a cup and a half worth of both the celery, the onion, and the carrots, because I'm making a small batch. But, if you guys want to double or triple all of this, feel free to do so. This is about how small I'm going to be chopping everything down. And I don't know if I've mentioned this once before, but anytime you guys are chopping up onions, celery, carrots, all of those type of things, and let's say you have some extra, or if you think that it's about to go off in your fridge because you're not able to use it, do not throw that stuff away. Chop it down and then put it into a Ziploc bag and then place it in your freezer. It's great to have on standby because you're always going to end up needing celery, onion, and carrots in some sort of recipe if you cook the way that I do. And they freeze really well, and it always comes in handy during the holiday times. So don't throw that stuff away. Just chop it up and put it in the freezer before it does go off. And so, like I said, I'm going to be using roughly about a cup of carrots, a cup of diced celery, and a cup of diced onion. And all of this that I have left, I will just chop down and then add to my freezer bag so that I can use at a later time. I'm also now working on mincing down my garlic, but I'm going to set this to the side on a separate plate because I'm not going to add that in initially while I'm sauteing off our veggies, our carrots, our celery, and our onion. Because if you put the garlic in too early, it's going to burn and it's going to leave a really nasty aftertaste in the final dish. So we don't want that. The good thing I will say about this entire dish, beyond marinating the chicken, all of this will come together in 30 minutes. So it's great to have on a school night, make it for the kids, especially if they all like spicy stuff. This is also a fantastic soup to make if anybody in the family is sick, because this will absolutely open up your sinuses. I know you guys have already seen how I marinated the chicken, but just know with that brand, the Walker's Wood, you can also get it in mild. So if you don't want it super, super spicy, you can get a milder version, but I want mine to be spicy. So that's the reason why I chose to use the spicy one. In the bottom of my Dutch oven, I'm going to go in with neutral oil. And I know you guys have heard me talk about this before, but when I say neutral oil, I'm using avocado oil. You do not necessarily have to use avocado oil. You can use vegetable oil. You can use canola oil. You just want to make sure that you're using an oil that does not have a flavor, i.e. not coconut oil, not olive oil. You guys have heard me say this now a million times that most soups really are not difficult to put together. It's really the prep work that is more complicated. So once you have everything prepped, just have everything lined up and ready to go. It's going to make your life a lot easier to throw everything in the pot once you have your stuff prepped. I have my boneless, skinless chicken thighs that have been marinating overnight. Once again, you do not have to let these marinate overnight. These are super thin. So really 2-3 hours, it would have been just fine, but I want as much flavor as possible. That's why I allowed it to go overnight. We have our carrots, our celery, our onion, like I said, roughly about a cup to a cup and a half. You can add more, you can add less. I have my minced garlic, the chicken broth, the chicken bouillon powder, thyme, black peppercorn, and the coarse kosher salt, which you will use to taste. Now that we have all that ready to go, our oil is up to temp. We can go on ahead and start to add in our chicken thighs. We're going to sear that off first because we want to start to build flavor in this pot because there really aren't that many ingredients that's going to go into this. Alrighty, our oil is nice and hot, so we can go on ahead and add in our chicken thighs. Move it around a little bit once you initially put it in so that it does not stick. Place all of those in there. Just like so. And we are going to be fully cooking these off. This is not going to be a partial cook. We are going to fully cook these off. Do not get rid of all of this juice. We're going to be deglazing, if you want to call it that, with the chicken broth. So you can add your chicken broth to this if you would like, because we want all of that flavor. So to make sure I'm not going to lose any of that liquid that's in the bottom of this, I'm going to add in all of the chicken broth to this. Don't worry, I'm going to put that take that piece of chicken out. Don't stress yourself out, honey. All of this is going to get cooked anyway. We're going to cook each side of our chicken roughly about 2 to 3 minutes a piece. Again, you want to make sure that these are fully cooked. This is not a partially cooked type of situation. So make sure that they are fully cooked. Look at all of that flavor. Alrighty, you guys. So now my chicken is fully cooked at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this out of the pan, shred this chicken up, and just go on ahead and sit this to the side. Go on ahead and remove it all. If you end up having an excessive amount of oil in the bottom of your pan, you can remove a little bit of it, but don't get rid of all of it because you're going to need some of that to saute down your vegetables. And all of this foam that's at the bottom, all of that's going to come up when the moisture gets released out of those veggies. So don't stress yourself out about that. That's actually the perfect amount of oil in the bottom of this. And the other reason, you guys, why I don't really concern myself too much about the oil is because I'm using an avocado oil. So I'm using a slightly healthier oil to begin with. Go on ahead and now add in all of the carrots, the celery, and the onion. And give all of that a good mix. And again, as the water is released out of these, all of that stuff at the bottom is going to come up, and that's going to contribute to more flavor to the soup. Make sure the heat is not up too high, though. This has been cooking for roughly 1 to 2 minutes, so now we can go on ahead and add in all of that garlic and give that a mix as well. And remember, make sure the heat is not up too high. You do not want to burn your garlic. And like I said, the water is being released, so all that stuff at the bottom is slowly starting to come up. We can now go ahead and add in the 4 cups of that chicken broth. I'm now going to go ahead and add in all of that delicious jerk chicken. And as you can see, I left it in chunks. I did not want it shredded. I want it to have nice chunky texture to it. You can be very light-handed with the seasonings. Remember that jerk seasoning is already jam-packed with flavor, so I've gone in and added in a little bit of black pepper. We're going to add in just a few dashes of some additional thyme, not too much. A little less than a teaspoon of the Noodle chicken bouillon powder. Now that this is coming up to a steady simmer, I'm going to go on ahead and start to add in my egg noodles. You can add in as many or as little as you would like. For me, that's about enough because, again, I'm making a small batch. And just FYI, because this is a small batch, if you guys know that you're going to want to have leftovers and eat this throughout the week, I would double, if not triple, this entire recipe. Give all of that a good mix. And while you're mixing this around, if you find that you don't have enough liquid in it, just go on ahead and add yourself in just enough chicken broth so that it covers the top of the noodles. But this is actually the perfect amount, so it kind of worked out for me. And honey, once your egg noodles are done, this is done. It really is. I mean, there's nothing special about this at all, but it's great flavor. And if you are a lover of, jerk chicken, then this is a good one. And if you want it extra spicy, by all means, add you in some more of that jerk marinade in it. Add you in another teaspoon. So it really just depends on how spicy you want it. Go in, taste for additional salt if you need it, but that's pretty much it. Let's plate it up and let's do a taste test. And that there, my friends, is how I make my jerk chicken noodle soup. Super flavorful. It is definitely going to open up your sinuses. It is absolutely fabulous. And like I said, it takes less than 30 minutes to put together. I would definitely highly suggest that you give this recipe a try if you are a lover of jerk chicken and that flavor. Let's go in for a taste test. I am looking forward to this. This is going to open up my sinuses, honey, like nobody's business. Baby. I'm telling you, you'll never want regular chicken noodle soup again. And honestly, like I said, this takes less than 30 minutes to put together. And it's just jam-packed with so much flavor. And you can take control over how spicy you want this to be. You can make it super, super spicy. To me, this is actually perfectly balanced. It has a nice little kick to it, but not too bad. And if you want to really step your game up, you can use my homemade jerk seasoning marinade, which is available in my cookbook, which you can purchase right now. Just click the link down below and use that jerk marinade in this. My God. Talk to y'all babies later.
Playing in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food by TY.